Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are taking on a really fantastic challenge, mastering the 5-step blueprint for composing literary texts. Because, whether you're trying to write a powerful poem or some sweeping prose, having a structured approach is literally everything. It takes all that guesswork out of writing and gives you a super clear path right from your very first thought all the way to the final polish.
Now, we've all been there, right? You sit down to write, and you just find yourself staring at this terrifyingly blank page. Honestly, it can be incredibly intimidating. But here's the secret. Every great piece of literature, every single cultural masterpiece out there started as a blank page. So the question isn't whether you have the talent to fill it. The real question is, how do you get from absolutely nothing to something extraordinary? How exactly do you transform that empty space into a vibrant reflection of your world? Like, say, capturing the chaotic beauty of a cultural festival or the exact smell of your grandmother's kitchen.
Well, here is your roadmap. Okay, let's dive into this. These are the 5 core steps of the writing process: pre-writing, drafting, revising, editing, and publishing. You can kind of think of this as a fail-proof engine. Feed your ideas into step 1, follow it through to step 5, and you will absolutely emerge with a beautifully structured, meaningful text.
Here is our agenda for today. First, mastering the literary text. Then, the foundation, think and write. After that, revising for coherence and cohesion. Editing to master the mechanics, and finally, publishing, reflecting your culture. All right, let's get building.
Section 1. Mastering the literary text, building your structural masterpiece.
So this is our end game. Our ultimate goal is to compose a literary text using the appropriate structure, revise that text specifically for coherence and cohesion, and then ultimately publish an original poem or prose that reflects culture. Basically, everything we do next is totally focused on that final goal. We want to turn a simple idea, like, again, that memory of your grandmother's cooking, into a true cultural touchstone.
Moving on to Section 2, Foundation, Think and Write, Prewriting and Drafting.
We kick things off with pre-writing, which is the think stage. First up, you need to choose a topic. Then zero in and identify your audience. Finally, and this is absolutely crucial, gather your ideas. And by the way, you don't just sit there and think about it, you have to take action. Brainstorm, do some research, and use graphic organizers like story maps and outlines to visually capture your thoughts. Think about it. If we're writing about that family recipe, who is the audience here? Is it your peers? Is it food lovers? Plot out the sights, the smells, and the memories right there on your story mat.
Okay, so once you have your ideas gathered, you move right into drafting. This is the write stage. This is where you actually put your ideas into words, writing out real sentences and paragraphs. But listen, here is the single most important rule of drafting. Focus on flow and absolutely ignore perfect grammar or spelling. I mean it, just get your thoughts down on paper. Take those timelines and outlines you made in the think stage and just expand them into full paragraphs. You have to give yourself the freedom to just write without that critical voice hovering over your shoulder. Even if that memory of cooking in the kitchen comes out totally messy and out of order, it doesn't matter. Just write it down.
Section 3. Revising, Coherence and Cohesion, the Make It Better stage.
Now, coherence is a truly vital competency. It's all about improving your content to ensure your main idea is absolutely clear and actually makes sense to the reader. When you're reading back through your draft, ask yourself, is my core message really shining through, or is it getting kind of lost in the weeds? Like, if your story is about the warmth of a family meal, don't let some random tangent about the history of cooking pots distract the reader, Keep it coherent.
And that brilliantly illustrates the next point. If coherence is the clarity of the idea, then cohesion is the structural glue. Cohesion means rearranging, adding, removing, or changing parts of your text so that your ideas stick together perfectly. It's what ensures your story flows logically from one sentence to the very next. It's like paving a nice, smooth road for your reader to travel on.
Also, as you revise, you absolutely must strengthen your details. Read the draft again, double-check that main idea, and actively hunt for any weak words so you can replace them with really vivid descriptions. For example, don't just say a house was old. Tell us its wooden floorboards groaned under the weight of a century. See the difference? Elevate your language.
All right, Section 4. Editing, Mastering the Mechanics, the Make It Correct stage.
Now, it is so vital to understand the difference here.
Revising is what we just finished doing, focusing on the big picture and improving the actual content. Editing, on the other hand, is an entirely different mindset. You are no longer worrying about the story itself, you are focusing strictly on checking the mechanics and fixing the grammar.
So the crucial point is knowing what we mean by mechanics. These are the technical rules of writing, specifically spelling, capitalization, and punctuation. Just think about it. A misplaced comma or a misspelled word can instantly pull a reader right out of your beautiful story. Editing is what ensures that doesn't happen.
When you hit this editing stage, you're going to want to follow this checklist very closely. Look carefully for those spelling, capitalization, and punctuation mistakes. Fix up any awkward sentence structures. Ensure your word usage is proper and grammatically correct. Your goal here is to polish the text so that the final piece looks perfectly clean and totally professional.
Which brings us to Section 5, Publishing, Reflecting Your Culture, the Share Stage.
Culture. Remember our ultimate competency goal from earlier? It wasn't just to write a text for the sake of writing. It was to publish an original poem or prose that actively reflects culture. This is the whole reason why we write. We use this structured 5-step process to ensure our unique heritage and our personal stories are communicated powerfully to the world. Your heritage is now a polished masterpiece, ready to be seen.
So how do we actually get it out there? The publishing process involves a few final, very actionable steps. First, prepare your final clean copy. Then, share it. You can present your writing verbally through storytelling. You can hand out physical printed copies to your community, or you can even post your work online for a global audience to see. Honestly, the medium is completely up to you, but sharing it, that is essential.
And just like that, we have walked through the entire blueprint, from facing down that intimidating blank page, through pre-writing, drafting, revising for coherence and cohesion, editing for mechanics, all the way to publishing. You now have the tools. You know the exact structure. So I'll leave you with this one final question to think about. What part of your unique culture will you write about first? Go grab a pen, use this 5-step blueprint, and find out. Thanks so much for watching this explainer.